What's up, everybody?
Hey, I'm Coots.
And I'm Tank. Thanks for joining us on today's edition of This or That
Movies.
So today we got a psychological thriller. This or That. It's Fight Club.
Psychological
Thriller. Fight Club versus Donnie Darko. So what do you got?
Donnie Darko.
Oh, definitely Fight Club for me. It's not even close.
I hated Fight Club. Hated it.
Literally one of the anthems of my early adult life.
Here's the thing. I had to watch it about a dozen times before I go, all right, I see what they did here. I read the book finally.
So no lie.
Yeah.
I would say it took me 24 times to get through Donnie Darko.
Really?
I could not make it through that movie. There were at least the first 10 times I was like, I've been watching this for an hour and I have no idea what the hell's going on. What the hell is that bunny?
Yeah.
I had no clue what was happening whatsoever. I knew it was messed up and all that. I didn't get it. It didn't hold my attention. I was like, screw this. Or I fell asleep and it took me forever to get through Donnie Darko, and I finally get through Donnie Darko, and I'm like, I mean, it's kind of quirky. I can see why people like it, but nah.
Yeah.
I was like,
that was totally Fight Club for me. Fight Club. Okay.
So this is no joke. In the year 2000, shortly after this movie came out, I started a Fight Club, which is now defunct. I can talk about it, but there were
first rule, bro.
There were 8 of us, and we were very young. We're all between, I was 18 at that time, 18 or 19 when we started it. And there was about 8 or 10 of us, all between, the rest of them I think were 21 because I worked in bars, and that's kind of how the whole thing started. I was a big mouth fat kid that used to get beat up a lot as a kid. So when I was an adult, I really wanted to fight, to learn how to be a better fighter. And that, in many different ways, that saved me as a young adult. Many different times we had multiple different warehouses that were totally abandoned that we would go to that were miles long, and you would never be able to. But I straight up started a Fight Club, and we weren't gonna. Now we started the Fight Club, so it was the physical hand-to-hand combat part of it. We didn't get a house and abuse each other into doing terroristic actions in society. It was just about hey, I know many women watching this would be like, why do boys do that? I don't understand. I was a grown man. These other people were grown men. I'm like, I respect you as a fighter, and I really want to fight you. Can we do that on an honor system where it's not emotional, and you how do you control it? People had all these questions about all that, if somebody says, stop, that's it, it's enough, and you continue to go, there's between 10 and 30 people. We had one, and I think the biggest we ever had was 35 people at this thing.
Yeah,
so if you just keep going when somebody says stop, there's 35 people around you who know how to fight, and you're gonna pay for that if you don't, because if you already knocked someone out, you already damaged them, and it's over. That was it, and multiple of us would come remove the guy if he couldn't stop himself or whatever. We had a whole system that we would go and drop people off at the hospital, and they'd be like, I got jumped. I don't know what happened. I don't know any of the people. We had a whole thing. We had to sometimes, some people get pretty hurt, and I was lucky enough that I didn't. I don't have any facial scars or anything, any visible facial scars. But it was a really, really important movie for my life. I'm not schizophrenic, and I don't have multiple personalities disorder, but I always felt like there were parts of me that were different than other parts of me. There were parts of me that would think a certain way, and then other parts would think a different thing. And so I felt like it related directly to me. And I was 18, like I said, I think when I came out, and I had a lot of aggression as a young adult, and I knew that it would get me into trouble if I didn't outlet it in a healthy way.
Right.
And there were multiple other people in the Queensbury and Glens Falls, New York metro area. Not very metro, it's kind of rural. But there were multiples of it, and in the late 90s, early 2000s, there were a lot of fighters. Yeah. There was a big problem the police had with a lot of fights in bars.
I didn't necessarily sort of Fight Club, but boxed and did MMA for a long time after.
Edward Norton and Brad Pitt? You picked
I can't
Jake
Gyllenhaal?
Wait.
No, I love Brad Pitt. Can't stand Edward Norton.
Are you kidding? Oh man, he's like what? He's another one. I'm like, oh, Edward Norton's in it. I'll watch it.
The thing, I actually like him as an actor. As I think he's done good stuff. I just can't stand him. I can't stand him.
You and the rest of Hollywood, apparently.
Yeah, well,
he's pretty well known to be a difficult case. So I understand, which is unfortunate because I pretty much like him in everything he ever did.
Yeah.
He was in.
He's done stuff I enjoy.
Movies.
Like as that movie, it took me so many times to enjoy it. I still won't ever put it on.
Oh, I love it.
As like I would watch Fight Club. I cannot do that for me.
Oh,
if it's on, I will watch it now. But I do not love it like so many people do. It's not my cup of tea. But I will put on Donnie Darko on a regular, and I've watched that multiple times. And it's one of those I saw in the theater.
I've made it through Donnie Darko 2 times.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater 6 times. And
I did not.
Right.
I did not.
Right.
I tried. I really did. I worked my way through it and gave it the effort because I recognized it as a good enough piece of art anyway to watch it, and I did, but I didn't particularly like it. And Fight Club is a very formative movie for me, so it's definitely Fight Club for me.
Yeah, Donnie Darko.
All right.
Well, guys, thank you again for watching this episode of This or That
Movies.
And please like our Facebook page, Radio Rapidly Coos and Tank, and like and subscribe to our YouTube page, Radio Rhapsody with Coots Tank. Like, share, love us, all that jazz. And I'm Coots.
I'm Tank.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
We'll see you next time, kids.
Peace.